Hey folks, welcome to another edition of Ask a Realtor. I'm Doug Pryor with JP and Associates Realtors here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And this is where I just, grab a cup of coffee and talk about some of the issues that people ask me about being a realtor. Hopefully you find beneficial, enjoyable, entertaining, or whatever your reason for watching. But today, let's dive right into our topic, which is should I FSBO? That's the question. What the heck is a FSBO? Well, that's something that we use, a terminology in the business you may have heard, stands for sale by owner. And basically it's somebody who decides they're going to list their house, sell it, but not hire a realtor to represent them. They're going to sell it on their own and save the commissions, which I get. I mean, that can be thousands of dollars. Certainly might be worth consideration, but as a realtor, I take the opposite end of that, it can be very much worth it to hire somebody, a professional that can handle the process for you. And I'll kind of go through some of the reasons why I believe that's so. First of all, you have to think of, in listing your house yourself as for sale by owner, what's the mentality of the buyer that's going to be looking at your house? Well, typically, if they're coming to a home that's being sold by owner, they're also looking to save some money. Either they may not be represented by an agent either, so they don't want to pay those commissions or have it come out of the sale of the house, or they know you as the seller are saving those commissions, so it becomes a point of negotiation. And they're going to offer less than what the true market value is because they know you're already saving that money and they want a piece of it. So typically, I know some studies have been done that people that sell their house by owner typically get about 6% less than the current market value, which ironically enough is about what most realtor fees run these days. So may not be worth the hassle that you have to go through to save that money if it nets out and it's really less than what you would have gotten by hiring a realtor. The other thing is most buyers actually in the market today do have agents. So about 90% of the people looking to buy a home are using an agent. So you may very well come across a situation where an agent calls you, says, hey, I've got somebody interested in your house, but I'm not going to bring them by and show it to them unless you agree to pay me my commission. And so right there, you're paying half of what you normally would have paid anyways, just to get the people in to look at the house because they are represented by an agent. Another reason is that this is actually a fairly complicated process, and maybe you've bought and sold real estate in the past and you kind of know how it works, but a lot of people haven't, and so maybe the house they're in is the only one they've ever bought, and it was 20 or 30 years ago, and I can tell you it's changed a lot over the years, but it is fairly complicated, and these are performance-based contracts that we're dealing with in buying and selling real estate. So it is important to have the right forms, the right contracts in place, and have them filled out correctly. Make sure you understand the process and how it works, because for most people this is their biggest investment is buying a house, and they get very passionate about it, and if they feel that something's not done correctly or it's gone wrong, they will sue, and you can open yourself up to that liability if you don't really know what you're doing. So I would suggest not trying to do it on your own. Hire a professional. Another thing is the market and marketing your property, and how many people are you actually able to reach as a for sale by owner. And true, there are online sites where you can post your house as listed for sale by owner and put signs up in the neighborhood, in your yard, trying to generate traffic or whatever. But the truth is, most of the people that are driving by are looking at those sites may not actually be in the market right now. They may not be looking right now to find a home. So it's a smaller number of people and potentially not very many of them looking to buy. In hiring an agent, one thing you get is access to the MLS, and you're going to have, literally thousands of realtors who represent tens of thousands of clients who are actively looking to buy and in the market right now. So it gets you the exposure to people that are ready to buy and potentially would be interested in your property. And the other thing you have to consider is cost. So in my own neighborhood, I've had a couple of houses that have gone on the market for sale by owner. They typically sit for 2 or 3 months, even longer. And I will tell you, most people that try to sell by themselves ultimately end up hiring an agent maybe 3, 4, 5 months down the road, just because they haven't gotten the kind of traffic or offers that they were expecting to. But what is that costing you to pay the mortgage over those months that your house sits? And then if you ultimately end up hiring an agent anyways, you've lost that money. You haven't saved anything. So just something to consider as well. So, what does a realtor offer? Well, most people justify, I don't want to hire a realtor because all they're going to do is they're going to, stick my house on the MLS, and that's all they do. And then they sit back and collect a fat check, and it's not really worth it. But I will tell you that at least a good agent, and there are some bad agents out there, honestly, but a good agent is going to actually earn that commission. They're going to do things that are beneficial to you and spend a lot of time and effort getting the most value out of your home for you, at least if they're worth their salt. So, I've already mentioned the MLS and having access to active buyers, but that's just one piece of it. Another thing I do, not all agents do this, but I do, is I actually hire a professional photographer to take photos of your house. So making sure that those photos that are presented in the listings are of the utmost top quality and put your house in the best light possible to get people interested enough to come look at it. It drives me crazy when I see listings out there where agents have just gone with their iPhone and taken crooked pictures and little bitty dark and things that just don't put the property in the best light possible. And in my opinion, that's fraud. If they're charging full commission fees to do that, and they may not, they may be a discount broker or whatever, not charging full fees, but certainly you want somebody that's going to make your property look the best it possibly can. Other things I can do is offer staging or even update advice. So maybe some things need to be done to your house, but you're not sure, should I spend the money to do them or sell it as is? Am I going to get any money I spend back out? We can talk about those things and see what the best course of action is. It might be worth, making some changes or some updates, and it might not. You might not look to get the money back out, so why spend it if you don't need to? Another thing I do is a pre-inspection. I'll actually hire an inspector, a very high quality inspector that I trust, to come in and look at your property as if they were representing a buyer. However, they're representing you or me, to look at the property and go through it and say, these are issues that when a buyer makes an offer and has an inspector come in, this is what they're going to find. Maybe you want to address them, maybe you don't. Maybe they're issues that could affect the price, maybe they're not. Things that could be negotiated. But having that knowledge ahead of time before you get the buyer's inspection report and maybe only have 12 hours or 24 hours to make a decision based on what they've found, I think is invaluable to do, because it puts you in a better position going into a negotiation to already know what it is they're going to find. And finally, as an agent, obviously marketing is the number one key. I'm going to market the crap out of your house, quite honestly. So, you know, again, through the MLS, through open houses, you know, yard signs, social media, other agents that I work with who have clients, and just, you know, as much as I can, getting your property in front of as many potential buyers as possible to generate the most interest, possibly get in a multiple offer situation, possibly get higher than even what the you know, the current asking price is. I think as much marketing as can be done is very, very important. And again, some agents don't do that very well, but I think I do. So that's something that you might also consider in hiring an agent. And I'm not the only agent out there. There's certainly other good ones too. But again, trying to do this on your own versus hiring a professional, I think is worth the time and effort. You get what you pay for. So, you know, you wouldn't take your car to the cheapest mechanic necessarily to have them do a major overhaul. You may save yourself some money, but in the long run, it may cost you a lot. And same thing is true with real estate, just on a much bigger scale. We find you know, typically that I think as the National Association of Realtors did a study, and only 8% of the homes sold are actually sold by for sale by owner. So, like I say, there's reasons for that. A lot of them I've covered here, but you know, 92% sell it through an agent. I think that's a better way to go. I think it'll save you a lot of heartache, a lot of time, and you know, just having somebody in your corner that you know is looking out for your best interests, I think is important. So hopefully you do too. But I'm here, you know, if you want to start that discussion, maybe you've been thinking about it, feel free to reach out. Again, if you have any questions, real estate related, send those my way and I'll cover them in a future episode, and hopefully we'll, you know, create a dialogue here that, you know, helps people can find beneficial. And I've enjoyed our time today, and I hope you'll join me next time for Ask a Realtor. Thanks.